Favorite beer?
Stout, especially if it's an imperial stout.
Artist?
Jay-Z.
Favorite food?
Pasta. The creamier the better.
BrewsBeats&Eats, the podcast. We are back. Another week, another episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Old Head Ed. For those who don't know, for those who do know, thank you for coming back. The podcast once again takes a field trip. Hit the streets, another journey, and we find ourselves actually at Unbranded Brewing in Hialeah. What brings us to Unbranded Brewing? I mean, besides the beer and the food, it's my guest. My guest, Miss B, is the craft accountant, and she's also the owner of Natural Buzz. No, what? The owner of both. She's multi-CEO. She's multi-CEO with the flow. Craft beer accountant and Natural Buzz. None other than Miss B. How you doing?
Very good, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So backstory time. I typically do this at the very beginning. Backstory, how did I get to know the guest? How did I encounter the guest? Beer Fest Fridays. Shouts to both brothers of Beer Fest Fridays. Pedro, Socrates, the family, the extended family through beer.
Yes.
Through beer. Recording an episode with them, and while we're recording an episode, you show up. Yeah. You walk in. And actually, before that, I think I had heard your voice before I met you, because you were on one of the earlier episodes with
Correct,
them.
yes.
And and you had an interesting story because of what it is that you do, which you're going to get into. Mm-hmm. So you pop into the episode that I'm recording with them, and the moment that you mentioned craft beers and trying to become a master cicerone, I was like, that sounds like a word I should know when it comes to beer. Tell me more about it. So we got into it, and we'll get into it again. But before we do that, let's get into the world of craft beer accounting, or accounting in general. It's tax season. All right, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of forms that need to be filled out with a bunch of initials, W-4, 1090s, and all that other stuff. And businesses, if they do what they're supposed to do their taxes as well, and that's when you come into it.
I hope so, yes.
So
and when they haven't done their taxes, and that's when I come
up to clean up the mess.
Yeah, and clean up the mess.
Got you. So how'd you get into the world of accounting and
then turning it into a niche of specializing in craft breweries? So I've been working in accounting since I was 17 years old, believe it or not. Oh, wow. In my senior year of high school, my work experience teacher asked me, hey, my ex-husband owns an accounting firm. He needs an assistant. Why don't you go apply? And I'm thinking, I'm 17. What 17-year-old works at a CPA firm? They'll never give me the job.
Yeah.
I was like, and then even my mom was like, girl, you're not going to get that job. So, I'm going to try. I went to the interview. He asked me, do you know Microsoft Excel? I go, sir, I do not, but give me 2 weeks and I'll learn it. He's like, all right, I'll hold you to it. I went to my teacher, who I skipped her class every single day. And I asked her, please, miss, can I sit in your class and watch you teach? I need to learn Microsoft Excel to get this job. Sure enough, I stayed there 2 weeks, went back. I learned the little basics and got the job. And I've been working in accounting ever since.
Shouts to the teacher, because she could have been on some old, like, you mean the stuff that you would have learned if you were here?
Yeah, exactly.
She could have hit you with that.
No, but she was nice enough to let me in her class.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, from then on, I've always worked in accounting, but then it's like, okay, I've been doing it for so long, I want to try something different. Every single time I try something different, everyone will be like, oh, but wait a minute, you're an accountant? And go back to asking me about accounting. It wasn't until I started getting into the craft beer community that I met a gentleman by the name of John Falco, who he actually is the owner of Lincoln's Beer. Yeah, Lincoln's Beer, and now Maxwell Brothers and Strange Beast.
Yes.
And
shouts to Alex at Strange Beast.
I had asked him, hey, you know what? I really want to learn about beer. I love drinking it. I love the science behind it, and I'll tell you why. And the reason I like the science behind it is because it reminds me about growing bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it all goes tight together.
Yeah, it goes all tight together.
Hops kind of look like bud.
They're the cousins of bud, actually. Yeah.
See, we're learning.
So yeah, I had asked him that, and he's like, yeah, sure. Look, I'm opening up a brewery. Come bartend for me. You'll be near the brew house. You'll get to know, the operations and everything and how it works. So then once they opened, I started bartending there on weekends just for fun.
Okay.
And everyone's like, oh, okay, so you're a bartender here. I go, yeah, but I also work in accounting. I'm a senior accountant at a seafood distributor. That's what I was doing at the time. And they're like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? So and then it came to the time when one of the owners comes up to me and was like, okay, so I keep hearing you're an accountant. And he starts picking my brain and stuff. So then he goes to John Falco and he's like, no. Get her out of the bar. She needs to be upstairs in the office doing the accounting. Yeah. And he's like, no, she's tired of accounting. She needs to be by the beer. Okay, all right, we'll split her in half. So I got split in half with doing a little bit of beer tending and doing the books over at the brewery until they grew and I ended up just doing the accounting there. Okay. So I was doing the accounting there and I was still the senior accountant at the seafood distributor. But I was like, okay, Betsy, you're never going to get away from accounting because that's where everyone always steers me to. Just open up an accounting firm that specializes in craft breweries. That way, I'm near beer, I'm working with beer, and I'm doing what I'm good at. So that's how the craft accountant was born.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. And to think that was something. I mean, you would have never thought at 17-year-old that that's where you would find yourself.
No.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I've been. I incorporated the craft accountant 5 years ago, and have been doing it ever since.
Nice.
So I do a lot of consulting work. I'm now here. I'm the accounting controller here for Unbranded Brewing Company. Yeah, and not only that, I also help small businesses, entrepreneurs, and so it's not only craft beer. I am also in anyone's craft.
There you go. Yeah, you don't limit yourself.
I don't limit myself.
That's excellent.
But it's my passion.
Nice, and then you always continue to have streams of revenue coming from different directions.
Exactly.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, because you'd be surprised. Craft brewery accounting is a lot different than regular accounting.
Is it?
Yeah.
What are some of the differences?
For example, they have to pay excise taxes. Both state and federal have to be compliant with TTB, which is who handles like alcohol, tobacco, beer.
Got you.
Which a lot of brewery owners and business owners don't understand, like they don't know about, and also accountants aren't familiar with.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's impressive. And then, I mean, and I imagine do they ever try to pay you in beer? Like
yes.
Oh yeah.
Startup breweries always pay me in beer. Which I'm fine. It's okay. You want to have a consultation?
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's
that's
fine.
Excellent.
I accept beer. I barter.
Hey, listen. I mean, especially some of the really good places with beers. Like, I think this is worth an hour's worth of work. A 6-pack of this. No, definitely.
Do you want another beer? Keep drinking. Yeah. The knowledge.
Do the numbers ever become fuzzy with the beer? No, I don't.
No, luckily no.
Okay, you still stay sharp in the numbers.
I do.
Okay.
I think the more I drink, the sharper I get.
I have a beer here, and my thing with doing a podcast and drinking is that it doesn't turn out so well as the show goes on. No. I'm like, no, I'm just here. I mean, luckily for me, people don't tune in for journalistic integrity.
Yeah, they just want to.
Yeah, they just want to hear somebody talk about beer, music, and food. So it's not like they're expecting the world from me. So I could drink, and then if it goes off the rails a little bit, and I mean, goes off the rails meaning that I not nothing like crazy, but I'll forget stuff to bring up throughout the episode.
That was the fun part about also doing Beer Fest Fridays. It was that.
Yeah.
Because they stray all over the place. So then I don't feel bad because you have to stop me sometimes because I'll go all over the place. I'll talk about this and shoot to something else and forget it.
Shouts to Beer Fest Fridays. The homies
I love you
over
guys.
there. Yeah. Speaking of Beer Fest Friday, another thing that you brought with you when you showed up and we were recording an episode was edibles.
Yes. So I went into that podcast not as the craft accountant. It was actually as B from Natural Buzz.
Got you.
Because for the craft accountant, I'm Betsy. But then I'm Miss B when it comes to Natural Buzz. Yes.
Due to the B and Buzz.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that's how the logo came about. It being a B is because my nickname was B.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
between my cannabis community friends.
I was perfect. So I'm gonna ask. I know you said that there was a direct link between the hops that we use in beer and the cannabis bud.
Yes.
Right.
So now rewind back to a couple of years. So, okay, I was 17. I worked for craft beer. Then when I was 19, I got into not necessarily smoking cannabis, but the growing of cannabis.
Okay.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And during that time, I was with who's now my ex-husband. We started learning and growing bud together.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it like a? It wasn't like a. Because I've had people tell me before that their story started that they were part of like an agricultural program at school.
Not even.
Okay,
no.
good. All right.
No, it was just he's Jamaican and really loved smoking it and the whole
Who would've
business
thought?
aspect of
Who would've
it.
thought?
And I just really love the plant itself.
Got you.
It's just you get this maternal instinct when you work with cannabis.
Okay.
They sleep, they wake up. You watch them wake up.
Really?
You see them, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You literally will have the lights off, the leaves are down and sleeping. You turn the lights on, the leaves get up.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
See, when it comes to that, like I am so green. No pun intended, but this is like all new to me. I've spoken to people in the past that have come on and spoken about edibles, infused culinary, but even still, it's kind of like it's not. I'm learning as I go. Also.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Well,
so
that's how I got like super interested in that first because I never smoked. I would not smoke. I don't smoke it. Anything. I just love to cultivate it and then cook it.
Okay.
Cook with it. Yes, I started. So I have a big passion in cooking. I love to cook. I love to bake. So I was like, okay, well, why not mix the two?
Yeah.
Since everyone likes a little kick with their cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
So I did it for a couple of years. Then, of course, mommy mode hit. A lot of accounting work hit. I stopped.
Okay.
Especially since back then the laws weren't as lenient as they are now.
Yeah.
Even though it's not fully legal now, it's still more of a slap on the hand than back then. I wasn't down to do some jail time, especially with kids. Yeah. So then fast forward, June 2019, I started getting an interest again in getting back into the cannabis business. With all the laws changing and when Florida became legal for medical marijuana, I was like, well, now we're legal for medical marijuana. We're a little bit ahead of maybe, hopefully, getting to
We're trending in the right direction.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to be first step. Again, my business brain starts working. Yeah. I'm going to be in there with the Florida Department of Agriculture. I want my license and I want my name in. I want to build this company so that when licenses do open, I'm right there front in the line to do it. So I created Natural Buzz.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where Natural Buzz was born, and I bake edibles. Not only that, I also make CBD infused self-care products.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now that's something I have questions on because I know people mention to me all the time the benefits of CBD as far as when you get to my age and and things start to hurt.
Yeah, me too.
And things start to hurt.
I
It's now I guess it apparently it's very effective, and I guess my concern is that, like you said, we've trended in the right direction.
But Florida's slow.
But yes, so I guess it's not a question you could answer, but my thing is like, I'm wondering when it gets to the point where something like that, if it pops up in a test, like because I use CBD to prevent soreness.
No, CBD does not pop up in any test at
all.
Yeah, cheers to that, right?
That might help.
CBD I do take. So
okay.
I used to pop so many ibuprofens for my herniated disc, my sciatic nerve. It was ridiculous. I was like effing up my liver more than even if I were to be drinking drinking all these painkillers. So I started drinking 1,500 milligrams of CBD, like taking drops.
Okay.
Honey, pain was gone.
Really?
Yeah, because I bet no one knows the science behind it. Our body already contains cannabinoids.
Really? I'm walking around high right now? Is that what you're telling me?
No. Don't we all wish? No, we need their... It's like they both touch each other. They meet each other and they kiss and they're like, okay, now we're going to get you out.
This is the euphoria. Yeah.
Except when it's CBD. Then it just gives you all the health benefits without the euphoric effect.
Doesn't have the psychoactive properties.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in the MMA world, they use CBD.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
It's great.
Even the NFL recently, there was articles
now
about them loosening up. They're loosening up the restrictions on the use of cannabis to heal the recovery process. So that I mean, like I said, we're moving in a direction where it's different from years ago.
And again, THC has a lot of health benefits as well. It's just
Okay.
the thing is that people don't believe in microdosing. They just
Got you. Yeah.
smoke up the entire blunt or
Yeah,
eat up
when you
the
don't need all
entire
that.
cookie, and then now you're extremely high, so it like defeats the purpose of what it's supposed to be doing
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. And I mean, coming as a non-smoker or non-partaker, microdosing, the thing that I hear a lot is people say, yeah, I'll take a bite out of something and I don't feel it, and then they go, well, no, maybe I need another piece.
No, you see, that's the biggest mistake. That's
So
what
how do you determine what's the right amount for you?
I always say, take a small piece. Like if I sell one of my customers a cookie, take a small, tiny piece of it. Wait 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
See how you feel. Take another small piece if you want. You know,
But give
a
it
bigger
time.
buzz, but give it the time. You have to understand, edibles are a body high. When you smoke, it's a head high. So it'll hit you straight up to your head. Now you're feeling all the highness. But when you take an edible, it takes a while, so everything starts traveling in your system. You start feeling it in your toes, and it starts coming in waves, like I call.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you're like feeling, oh my God, I feel this everywhere. Okay, I'm not high anymore. Okay, I'm high again. Okay, I'm not high anymore. Okay, I'm high again. Like, yeah, because it comes in waves.
So the idea is generally don't go reaching for that second.
No, unless, okay, to each its own, because I do have customers that no, I just want to get.
Yeah, they're trying to take the
Yeah,
express.
yeah.
They don't want to make all the local stops till they
Exactly.
get to their destination.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't advise it, but to each their own. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead, go have 1, 2 cookies.
Go. Don't come in milk if you
Yeah.
want to.
And I mean, and Natural Buzz not only does cookies, I also make brownies. I do tinctures. I do
Okay.
oils. The way you take a tincture and an oil is drops under the tongue, wait 10
Kind of
seconds.
like a B12.
Yeah,
everything you
and
do.
swallow, and the body absorbs it quicker.
Nice.
So yeah, that's.
You know what? This might work out. This might not work out. But did you have a? Because I think we might have met before.
At a pop up.
Yes, MIA Beer Co's, their
was
beer
there.
fest.
I was there.
Yes, we have met before.
Yeah.
It was actually my birthday 2 years ago.
Really?
It was on a Saturday. I remember it was like Rob Bass was performing.
The 80s theme.
The 80s theme
yeah,
joint. Yeah.
I was there.
You,
Yes.
damn.
Nervous because now, okay, 'cause I always try to keep my craft beer accounting world separate
Yes.
from this like underground Natural Buzz.
Yeah.
I'm like the godmother of marijuana type thing. And now here I am merging it together. So
Together.
everyone
So
I
you're-
work with in the community is now seeing me there with a table with cannabis products.
Yeah.
So I was nervous. Not to mention there was like a whole bunch of, I'm at a casino and there's a bunch of cops around. So every minute I'm like putting my signs down and putting on my cup. Because what I do is I'll set up the table. I'll have all my CBD infused products, but then on the other side of the table, you got all the real good goodies.
Yeah.
Which everyone's like, oh, wait a minute, what's that over there?
I should have started out that end.
Yeah. So it's like, how are you doing this? But is that legal? I'm like, listen, all of you supporting me has me paying my attorney. I'm okay. Don't ask so many questions. Don't worry about it. Just buy your stuff and go.
The less you know,
Yeah, the less you
the
know.
better you are.
Like, do I need to pop out my medical marijuana card? I'm like, no, buddy, it's all right.
Wow, that's wild. So it's crazy how our story goes back a little further than I even thought.
Oh, cool.
That's
So you went by the
amazing.
table.
Yeah. We was there. It was a group of people, and again, the group of people were like, oh, and they were interested. It caught their attention, and then I mean, of course, it wasn't like 3 or 4 steps from where you were at. There was beer samples.
I was infusing everybody's beer samples too.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, smuggling stowaways in the beer sample. Betsy, let's get them all the information where they could contact you.
For anything and everything accounting, you can find me on Instagram at The Craft Accountant. I also have a website, www.thecraftaccountants.com. Feel free to contact me with any accounting questions or any beer questions, all the fun stuff. Then as far as for Natural Buzz, if you're interested in some edibles, some CBD products, something to take the edge off of tax season, @_Natural Buzz. DM me to order.
Boom.
Yeah.
My peoples, y'all heard it. There's a lot going on.
I keep forgetting there's a camera there. There's a camera there too.
Hey, you never know when you're being watched. I forget sometimes too. That's why I try to not pick my nose on camera.
Be like,
hold on, something.
Follow me.
Yes, follow. Description box. You also get all the information where you can find Betsy and the many services that she provides. This doesn't mean that it's over. This is just the official business. We took care of that. Now we got to get into all the fun stuff, meaning the brews, the beats, and the eats. So y'all stick around. It's Brews, Beats, and Eats. We're going to get into some beers from Unbranded. We're going to sample, give you our thoughts, and we're going to talk more about this young lady and the word Cicerone. So y'all stay tuned. Brews, Beats, and Eats, the podcast, and we're in trouble. This is the brews portion. I still have Miss B here with me, and we're about to get into these beers. Now, this is unusual for the podcast because we typically have a flight of 4 beers, and
Oh really? What a bore! No.
I right now, but see, no, now that's gonna set the pace for future episodes because now I'm like, well, I have to do 5 now. So typically it's 4 beers. We had ordered 2 flights. I didn't know there was 5 beers per flight. And then
10 beers to try.
10 beers to try.
Actually, 11 with a British mild over here, a sessional beer.
This is a Brews, Beats, and Eats first. We're gonna sample. Oh my god, 11 beers. Well, actually, you know what? No, you're gonna sample 5. I'll sample 5.
Perfect.
And then we'll talk about them.
Okay.
Do you prefer one flight over the other?
Maybe the one with the stout.
Gotcha.
Or we can trade. Here, look. I know you love ambers.
Okay.
I'll trade you the porter.
And we'll try our best to keep track of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, are you really into sours?
Recently, yes.
Okay, so then keep the sour, so you
Gotcha.
can keep extending your palate for the sour.
That's what I'm talking about. And speaking of palate, before we get into these beers, let's talk about the term Cicerone.
Okay, yes. So if you're not familiar, a Cicerone is actually like how you would describe a wine sommelier. But instead, a Cicerone is a beer expert.
Okay.
So in order to become a Cicerone, there are 4 levels. So you have the basic one, which you can become just a typical beer server. So you learn the basics of talking beer, serving beer. Then the real head honcho, which it's a big deal, is when you become a certified Cicerone, which lets people know you know what you're talking about when it comes to beer. And that way you're tested on not only what's in the beer, how to describe the beer, when there's off flavors in the beer. And then after that, you can sit for level 3, which is to become an advanced Cicerone. And then there's the master Cicerone. There's literally only I would say 12 master Cicerones in the entire world.
Wow. And I imagine they could tell you...
they can tell you the history of beer, like what's inside the seed of a malt, down to every...
Or what type of hop is in
they can describe to the T what is in the beer.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think after a couple beers, I wouldn't be able to describe what I'm wearing, but let alone what's in the beer.
Imagine having to test it and drink beer and be able to perfectly describe the beer. Not only the way it makes you feel in your mouth, but also what you taste, what you smell, the color. Yes.
Man, you gotta.
A Cicerone needs to know everything.
See now, I have Untapped. Untapped is an app that helps you keep track of your beer, the ones you taste. And you could kind of do you could put a picture, you could write a notes on it.
It's a good way to study for the Cicerone exam.
And then it gets to a point where you ask, where it asks you, how would you describe it? And there's a bunch of already pre-installed adjectives.
Okay,
And I mean, some of these have these long ass list of adjectives, and I was like, holy crap! There's a lot of different words that you could use to describe a beer.
Yep, it's so usually how we call a beer snob, because when you're at Cicerone, you're considered a beer snob. You would take the beer, first thing you want to do, you want to smell it.
Okay, let's do that. You know what? Since you're already there, I am. I guess.
So tell me what you smell.
I smell beer. No, actually, see, no.
Don't worry, they'll tell me. They'll test me like, oh, it's okay. What does it taste like? Tastes good.
Tastes good. We don't want to give you the wrong answer. Okay. Well. Okay. So.
So just out of your mind.
No, you can smell the guava, and it's kind of like a cheat sheet because I kind of know what's on this.
Okay, well,
but
good,
you do
that's
smell
fine.
that there is the presence. Like you do smell the fruit.
Okay, and looking at it, what does it look like to you?
It looks like juice, which is one of the reasons why I got into sours.
Okay, yeah, it's cloudy.
It's cloudy, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like thick, creamy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of visibility through it. There's a little bit of lacing. Another term I learned.
I love it. Speak beer to me.
That's it. I'm all out of terms. I don't know.
And then, okay, so now you smelled it, you looked at it, now you taste it.
My favorite part.
So you gotta kind of let it sit there, get in the palate. What do you taste? What's the first thing that you?
Okay, I definitely
at
get
the tip, from the tip to the tongue to the back of the throat.
Let me go back. Hold on. Okay. Definitely guava through and through.
Okay.
So
heavy on the guava.
So yeah, the guava's there. I like this style of sour because what I've learned from drinking sours is that some beers.
And you'd be surprised it's not even a sour.
It's a wheat ale.
Because it's a wheat ale.
Wheat ale.
Yeah, but the guava makes everything
sour. So it's not
it's a sour fruit.
So I like this one. Because typically when you go into the sour range, and this is not a sour, but
guava makes everything.
I think sour.
Good, yeah.
It doesn't. It's not overpowering with the sour. You could tell that it has a wheat base to it. So this is pretty good. I like this. It's a guava wheat ale. It's not even a sour. What am I talking about? You think I would have a podcast based on beer, music, and food? And here I am.
It's okay though. But that's how you just start. You get used to it. You start tasting. So to you, it tasted a little sour, even though it's a wheat ale. But that guava taste gives it that hint of sour.
Correct. What did you drink?
So I have the Braised Uranus with it, which is a triple IPA.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
This is a triple. Anytime you go to a brewery and you hear anything with triple, it's gonna whether it be a triple or a triple IPA, it is. You get ready.
Triple Belgian.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah, that's a high ABV beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very earthy, it's like dirt in a good way. It's like I like to say it like
the best tasting dirt.
Yeah,
possible.
It tastes like dirt, but in a great way.
Lovely. So you up front, what do you smell on that one?
Grass.
Okay.
I smell grass.
Which is in line with.
That's why, yeah. And then when I taste it, it's got like a dry, effervescent taste to it.
I gotta write this down.
I know.
Effervescent.
Yeah, it's like dry at the end, very earthy. Again, it tastes like dirt. To me, it just tastes like dirt. But I like it.
If you're looking for a taste of dirt in your beer, that's what you would want to be.
Yes.
Excellent.
That's what they usually call what earthy beers are like.
Nice.
It typically tastes like dirt.
They came from the earth, as most beers do.
So yeah, but I love a good triple.
Excellent. Well, let's not stop there. Let's get into the second beer.
Okay. So what do you have on your second beer? We'll pick it up and.
Okay. Yes. So this is JC and the Giant Peach.
Oh.
And that smells very good. This is something that I would like this aroma like in a room of the house. It has a Yankee Candle, but it's
I love it.
But it's peach. But it's not it's like a very subtle peach. Wow, that tastes again like a little heartier, thicker than your normal beer. It's not very light. It's light in the sense that it's not heavy like a stout, but it's definitely heavier than a lager or a pilsner. And
you can taste the stone fruit in it.
Yes, that was the term you used when we first met. The stone fruit.
Stone fruit. AKA it tastes like a peach or an apricot.
That's it. That's the snob way of saying peach or apricot. But that tastes very good. It almost has a compota taste.
Okay, I love it.
For those who don't know, it's a baby food. It's a compote. It's a baby food kind of taste like that peach, but it's very good. I like this. Okay.
Good. See, I love it. You're a Cicerone ready already.
I don't know.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
have you
if I'm
sit
quite
in
there
our
yet.
tasting beers
Oh,
class.
yes, that I will do.
Hey,
That
if you
would-
really do want, that'd be awesome.
We're gonna make it happen. What are you drinking here?
So I'm being a basic bitch over here. I'm just having a golden ale.
We're all inclusive over here. You could be basic, you could be extra.
Yeah.
We have room for you here at BrewsBeats&Eats, the podcast.
Yeah, I love a golden ale though because you can never go wrong. On a hot day, you're sweaty, you want something crisp, refreshing, golden ale is your beer to go. And it's a friendly beer for everyone, meaning it's not a complicating. You can take it to a party, you can take cans of golden ales to a party and know that everyone's going to like it.
It's not going to be off-putting to anybody.
Exactly.
As opposed to if you show up with like triple IPAs, and
like,
some people are going to be like, what is...
How am I drinking here?
Dirt!
What is this? It's dirty.
That's not what I showed
you have
up
to
for.
graduate sometimes to your tastes and beers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Especially after years of... The average beer drinker, after years of drinking whatever the usual suspects are, this could be... This is a leap, you know, when you start getting into beers where they're focused on certain flavors or whatnot, definitely. But golden ale is kind of like the bridge, or a lager is kind of like the bridge between the two places.
Yeah, and it's not a high ABV beer. You can throw down a couple and be fine.
Okay, nice.
Or like me, I can probably drink like 10 of these.
Yeah. So, before we get into the third beer, early beer memories. The first time you tried a beer, maybe the first time you enjoyed it. I don't want you to incriminate yourself unless the statute of limitations is up.
It's up, honey.
All right.
It's half old.
So let's go. First time you tried a beer.
I was 7 years old when I
number 7.
first. Well, sadly, so the first time I had alcohol in general, I was 4 actually.
Hispanic household.
Yes. My mom drinking her cacique with Coke. And yeah, the bad thing is that she drinks, chats it up, gets drunk herself, and doesn't pay attention on what her daughter was doing. And so her daughter goes and takes her rum and Coke and drinks it, does twirls, and I throw up all over the place. Fast forward a couple years later, I'm 7. She's out sunbathing. I remember she's like, what is that bubbly goodness she has right by her chair? I went ahead and tried it. It was, even though I would consider that crap piss water right now, because it was a Budweiser.
It was a okay. Yeah. Okay.
I drank it, I liked it, and kept drinking it until there goes the 7-year-old. Drunk, and she's like, girl, you need to stop.
What does that say about my parenting skills?
But the crazy thing is I've always had, like, I guess an extensive palate, even as a kid, because by the time I was 5, I was eating escargot. I was having, my parents always introduced me to, like, these things that typically kids my age were not eating, things that they weren't drinking, even though some of it was alcohol. I promise you my brain cells are intact, even though I'm a little crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my earliest memory of trying beer. And then years later, when I was of legal age, I got into the craft beer scene and just really enjoyed tasting. Because normally someone will go, okay, I want to go have beers. I just want to go get fucked up. That's not the case with me. When I go drinking, when I go eat something, I want how I walk you through it. I want to see what it looks like. I close my eyes, what it smells like. When I taste it, what does it taste like to me? Like, I enjoy the experience of drinking. It's a whole experience.
It's part of the experience.
Yes.
As opposed to taking that express right to the fucked up town.
Yeah. So, and then when I first started getting into craft beer, it wasn't very popular here in Florida. There weren't especially Miami, didn't have any craft breweries. And I started meeting up and coming brewers that were opening up breweries, started going to networking events, started trying their beers, and then that's how I started learning of all the different styles of beer. That's how I really got into stouts. Heavy, I love stouts.
We're gonna get into the stouts. We're definitely gonna get into the stouts. Dope. But not before we get into this third beer, right? This is the third one? See, I can't even count right now. So
what do your third beer?
My third beer is Little Tart.
You got all the interesting ones over there.
We could switch. You want to switch one of them? I mean, we
No, because I want you need to try. I've tried these different styles of beers. I'm testing you. I'm interviewing you now. This is Bees, Brews, and Beats and Eats. We had an extra B in there.
It's been co-opted. New host. This one is their Little Tart That Could. And I almost knocked that one over. This smells very good. Very it's very fruity. Smells. It reminds me of the first sour I ever tried that kind of opened up my taste to sours.
Where was the first sour you ever tried?
The first one was Gulfstream Brewing's Berry Bombs. I was
Cool.
interviewing Angel, the homie Angel from Angel in the Hop Fields, and he brought one out. He had just gone on a beer run, picked up a couple different beers from different breweries, and I told them at that point my sour experience was like not good. I was like, the few times I tried, and just like, you know, yeah, I'll taste that off the taps, like not knowing any history of it, and I didn't find one that I liked. And then I had that one from Gulfstream Brewing, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. A lot lighter, more carbonation.
Okay.
It took me so much away from the beer. So saying that, for those people who are looking for a beer taste in a beer, you're not gonna find it in this one at all. It's totally absent. But the smell is great.
I used to describe a sour like salad dressing. It tastes like salad dressing because it says like that vinegar flavor to it. Some of them do.
Yeah.
When they're really fruity, not so much. But if you get like a more sour that's not as fruity, it's salad dressing. It's like I'm having a vinaigrette.
It goes
a bubbly vinaigrette
with an alcohol content.
Yeah. My first sours were at Jay Wakefield. He makes amazing sours.
Okay.
You've never been to Jay?
I've been before. I haven't tried their sours.
Oh, he's like the main person first here in Miami who started with the sours. Yeah.
I gotta go back then.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta go back. That one was really good. You taste the fruit. It's excellent. It's just a slightly sweeter than a salad dressing would be, but it's
because this one's a fruity. The thing I love about unbranded sours is that again they don't taste vinegary salad dressing. Like they're more in the fruit side. Like you're able to enjoy a whole glass of a sour. Versus before it's like, okay, I take a few sips. Okay, this is nice, but I don't want the whole glass, or I don't want another beer.
One of the things that sours do for me is that it gives me an excuse to drink it with breakfast.
Okay.
Because it gives you that whole like fruit. You're drinking. It's fruit juice. I'm sure there's some citrus in it. I don't know if beer has vitamin C in it, but
it's your smoothie. Hey, it's got
it depends on what
you.
So if you're ever looking for an excuse to drink beer, you know what I'm saying?
That's funny that you say that because that's what I do with stouts. That's my excuse to come into the office and be like, okay, I'm going to have a stout because it's kind of like a coffee. And it's oatmeal sometimes. You can find an oatmeal stout. Yeah. You can find a breakfast stout. Exactly. So I'm having breakfast. These are qualifying factors. Thank you. Don't judge. No. But I need you to judge that third beer. So okay, so here I have a Hialeah Light, which this is a phenomenal beer, especially for the city of Hialeah. Okay. Because again, it's kind of like how I described the golden ale. Super crisp, super simple. You can't go wrong with this beer. It's having a light beer. Nice. Yes. Now, after you sip it, do you automatically say, "Acere que vola"? Pretty much. Okay, good. Yep. Good. Dope. That's how you know you get the whole Hialeah experience out of a beer. So stay away from your Miller Lite and come to some good Hialeah Light. Hialeah Light. That's what I'm talking about. Hialeah Power and Light. No, watch me start getting all these letters from cease and desist letters. Yeah, luckily for you, there's only like 4 people watching this. No. We're gonna have the whole Budweiser community. They're like, what are they doing? They're onto something. The Miller Lite community. What are they talking about over there? Sponsor. Cut the check. Cut the check, please. So what do you? Well, so you've already explained what you think of that. Yeah. I mean, of course, you can see it's real crisp. It's see-through. It's light. Is it harder to kind of find? I can like these kind of beer. There's nothing to really much say of. What do I don't even taste. I can't even describe to you the yeast that was used in this beer. Got you. Versus some, I could be like, okay, yeah, this definitely has what's my favorite? Yeah, I can't think right now. I bang the beers. Yeah, it's working. Welcome the brew back. Segment. Welcome back. That's the best part is that you could jump in at any moment and go, this yeast, and then we're like,
Huh? Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Mosaic hops.
Oh, mosaic hops.
When you have a beer with mosaic hops, the best way you can describe that beer is that it tastes like weed. It tastes and smells like weed.
Got you.
Yeah.
Funny that you mentioned that. Shouts to Rob Productions, capturing the footage here. When I had him on the show, I provided one of the beers I provided for him was the Lucky Buddha.
Oh, okay.
Lucky Buddha, and one of the first things he said was like, "Is this? It's got to be weed in it."
Right? You see, because it has mosaic hops in it.
Hops.
Yep.
Nice, man. I'm learning. This is what I like to do here: is drink and learn. Now, do I retain the information after the drinks? Totally different situation.
But
Probably
you've
not.
enjoyed learning in the way.
Yes, yes. Man, how good could I have done at school if I was able to do this? I'm gonna go ahead and get into this fourth one, and this is this the one we switched? I think it is.
No, it is not actually.
It was the last one.
That's
Correct.
the one I'm actually drinking over here.
Okay. This is their Irish Goodbye.
Do you know what an Irish Goodbye is?
Does it last longer or shorter than a Cuban Goodbye?
And I actually learned on this past Friday what an Irish Goodbye is, and it's usually when you ghost someone at a party.
Really?
That's how it was named after, yeah.
Oh, so it's way shorter than a Cuban Goodbye.
Yeah.
Shouts to my Cubans.
What's a Cuban Goodbye?
It's when it takes forever. It's like you're
Oh,
getting
for
ready to
real?
leave. You're getting ready to leave. You're standing by the door. You said bye to everybody, but you haven't left yet.
Oh my god.
And then you kind of like,
that
oh,
makes
and
so
then
much sense. Yeah, Cubans are like that.
Oh, and then it's the next.
That's me.
And there goes my Cuban listenership.
That's everyone in my family doing that to me. Okay, can you just leave already?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and they find a reason
Yeah.
to keep the conversation going as they're standing by the door.
Yes.
Like they've got all their stuff with them, ready to go. They got their leftovers, the Tupperwares and whatnot, and it's like
they took the recuerditos, the cake topper, the piñata topper, but still standing at the door with all this stuff.
Yeah. So Irish Goodbye.
Irish Goodbye is like
would leave a person wondering, hey,
it's basically
is this guy like?
Hey, I'm gonna put quarters in the meter. I'll be right back, and then you just
boom, God, that's it.
leave. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see where this puts me. Okay. Go back to the smell. It has. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Are you not?
No, that's one thing I've never.
Obsessed with coffee.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I missed the coffee bus
Then
boat.
you're just gonna hate that beer. You're not gonna really like stouts.
And that's where I'm
that
at.
is malty and coffee.
Yeah.
And you taste like.
This is like the Keurig of beers. No.
Yeah, that's an espresso, honey.
Yes. This is yeah. Yeah. I can see where
and
this should come with little small cups.
And that's a dry stout.
Mm.
Usually when you're saying stouts, it's on the sweeter side. You taste maybe a little bit of dark chocolate, sweet chocolate, malts, coffee. That's
This
just
one.
a little drier. That just tastes like I made you some Cuban coffee and didn't put no sugar in it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And just let it sit or refrigerated it
So
for a little
good.
while.
It's so good.
That way you could keep drinking coffee throughout the day.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Now, I'm going to actually give this beer to you.
Oh, really?
I want you to drink this one because this will taste it and then tell me if it takes you back to a familiar flavor.
Okay.
In beer.
All right. So the smell alone, I mean, I don't know what it is yet, but I imagine it's a lager.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
But the smell alone is not a typical lager smell. It's a distinct. It's definitely not something that I've come across as far as aromas when it comes to lager. So I'm hoping that's impressive to y'all.
Yeah. And it's not meant to be like an impressive beer either.
But it is.
What does it taste like to you?
Hold on, because it's different. I'm just going off the fact that I have lager in mind, and despite the fact that it looks very much a little cloudier, but that's different. Hold on a second. Going in.
Okay. I'm going to enjoy these previous beers I was having while you try them.
Man, that is... I can't quite place the taste, but I just know that it's different.
Think in your younger years, in your 20s, you're out, it's hot, you're at the beach, you've brought beers, you do something with your beers, or at least usually every typical Hispanic does.
Corona.
This. Okay.
So you put a lime in the beer.
Yup.
So
So
this is
guess what it's called? Salt and lime.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So that beer is like a better quality of the typical Corona, where you put in your lime and your salt on the rim and you enjoy it on a hot day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our salt and lime.
Now, I've had lime beers before from TBBC.
Oh yeah.
Bay Brewing, they have a double lime.
Well, you've been to all the breweries.
I've been to Total Wine. And
cool.
They have all
okay,
the
well,
beers
good.
there.
Well, I'm happy for you. Okay, good.
But that doesn't mean I don't plan on going to.
You do a whole brewery tour. I've always wanted to do that.
I know that.
Florida.
Central Florida. I think. I remember at one point when on one of the trips to the kids' schools, orientation or whatnot. Because my youngest went to UCF, my oldest went to FSU. Okay. So while we were at UCF, on one of the trips, I remember pulling up to a World of Beer, and they're like, "Oh, there's a there's a map that you could hit up all the breweries, and cross them off your list."
Cool.
That's something I want to do someday. Yeah. I'll probably take the podcast on the road and change up the format a little bit, but definitely where I go place to place, have a beer at each spot. Maybe more on the street level thing. All right, that means I'd have to.
Yeah, you should.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna do that in the future. That's actually pretty good because it has the hints. It's not over salted. It's not over limed, but that's very refreshing. It tastes fuller than your typical lager.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good quick way of having like a nice beer at a beach.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a picnic hot setting where you would normally have like a Corona with the lime and salt.
Yeah. And then the worst part is that I don't know if you ever noticed it, but you know that you ever notice I don't know if it's happened to you, but you know that when you cut limes in the sun, like the citrus that travels from the cut, like the spray from the skin, it will stain your hand.
No, I never noticed that.
Yes, and then just from the sun, and then you can wash it off, but there's a good possibility you walk around with like freckles on your hand from the. Yeah,
I never even noticed that.
So you can skip that part. You don't have to cut limes or bring la sal a la playa.
No, you just come to Unbranded Brewing, get your 4-pack of salt and lime, and you're good to go.
And then you could do like Dominicans do and just bring your spaghetti.
To the beach.
To the beach. Spaghetti at the beach.
Like, I love it.
So that's if you don't have to carry the salt and the limes, you la olla. La olla de spaghetti. Because nothing.
Really?
Some meat in there.
Yeah, hey, it happens.
Whatever it is.
It happens.
Leftover
awesome.
from last night.
Yeah, I'm tapping into my childhood here.
Wow. No, mine was like pan cubano con jamón y queso.
Oh, yeah. The original Lunchable.
Yeah, the original Lunchable.
That's what I'm talking about. Where do you think they get these ideas from? It's from us. It's our cultural appropriation. Let's get into this fifth and final beer before I get myself into trouble. What do you got there on your side?
So I have the tree. Oh no, we switched this one on. I love this one. This is Under My Nutella, Ella.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a porter. So porter is kind of similar like a stout.
Okay.
So they have that, kind of.
They're kind of cousins, like the hops and the cannabis.
Yeah, definitely. More like siblings.
Siblings.
They're kind of like more like siblings.
They live in the same house.
They live in the same house.
Got you. Plenty of times people have asked me, "Oh, the porters and the stouts." I'm like, they're the same. I don't know.
No, but they're different. But just the way that you brew the beer, they have their difference.
Is it a temperature thing or no? Because the temperature falls under ales and lagers. That's the two determining factor as what temperature they brew at. But when you get into porters and stouts, what is the difference? You know the difference?
Oof, no, I can look that up real quick.
We're going to Google it. No, it's okay. We're going to Google
that.
We'll Google it. And then I'll add it in at the bottom. Or maybe
I used to know that. I haven't talked about it in a while. So
that's fine.
I totally forgot.
Cool. They won't know either. I'm hoping, you know what? I'm hoping that while you guys are listening to this, you're actually drinking a beer with us. That's got to be something new I got to include. Like, you're sitting here watching the episode, or you're listening to the podcast, like, why aren't you cracking a beer open and drinking while we drink?
Cheers to that.
Yes, and then that way, what we say I say, I'm not going to say, because my guest is always chock full of knowledge. What I say can't be found as incorrect information because you'll be too busy drinking.
Exactly. Yeah. We just have to sound smart with it.
Sounding smart is the key.
Sound smart, and then if you know what you're talking about, and no one will know the difference.
No one will know.
Especially when you're drunk.
Exactly.
It's a great thing about craft beer.
Yes.
Being in this business.
Yep. It gives you reason to try something different.
It's like, wow, she knows what she's talking about.
Or do I?
I don't even know what I just said.
I don't know. So that's under my
I traded
Nutella.
you for your favorite.
Okay.
Which is well, this one's called Tree Fossil. It's an amber ale. So you told me you were into amber ales, and it's called a Tree Fossil because it resembles a tree fossil in actual the color. With the color.
Yes, this does have a
like a very bark kind of look to it.
An autumn look also to it, where the leaves fall off the tree fall. We're making connections here. Yeah. So this is the last one. Cheers. We made it down the road. Okay. Ambers. I like ambers. This one, I've noticed the hops are a little more prominent. Okay. With this amber, because the taste I get or the feeling I get is IPA-ish.
Oh, really? Okay.
As far as what I'm tasting here, so it's not your typical amber, or the taste that I get from a regular amber, but it does have an IPA-ish taste towards the back. But even so, it's not an overbearing bitterness at the end. It's a remnants of bitterness, and then it just goes away.
I love how intellectual.
It only happens once in a while. I'm glad we documented this one. Because if not, nobody would believe me if I said it.
Look at him. Wow.
What do you think of that one?
This is actually one of my favorites. It tastes like Nutella. It's like a great dessert beer. Would pair awesome with chocolates. Like, or if you're having like a chocolate cake or a brownie or one of my edibles. This is the beer to pair it up with.
That's the one. Under my Nutella. Excellent. Now
usually when it comes to amber ales, the first thing I think about is like a caramel flavor. But crazy how nowadays when I've been tasting the newer amber ales, I don't get much of the malty caramel effect to it. Yeah. They taste more of the hoppier side.
Yeah. Which is in my summation, that's what I got from this one. Okay. Definitely. Now we have a one player that's off the board here. Just kind of lingering by itself over there.
Yes.
What is that?
So this is called the Mild.
It's a
British ale. It's a sessional beer. Are you familiar with what a sessional beer is? When you hear the term sessional, what does it mean to you?
A session beer means that you'll be drinking it for a while, or you could drink it for a while. You could sit down and drink it for a session. In other words.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can have more than one because they're usually very low ABV beers. Okay. For example, that's a 3% ABV beer.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they'll always be 4% or less. So if you have more than 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
So a session IPA, you can sit there and drink them.
There'll be different sessions on them.
Yes.
Versus a triple will be like a one and done. One and done.
Okay. That also has a coffee taste to it.
Now, I've never had that style of beer, so you can kind of... Yeah, okay. That's a new type of style. The way that it is, yeah. Because it's dark, but yet it's an ale. Yeah.
And it's funny because going back to the coffee flavor, it takes me back to the porter.
Do you taste? Is it malty to you?
Yeah, it is. Cool. Despite the fact that it's an ale, but that is different.
And coffee, I need to switch up to those in the morning.
Yeah,
I need to switch
definitely.
up to those in the morning. Maybe I won't be drunk by noon.
Maybe, but no promises.
No promises.
We don't do promises on BrewsBeats&Eats. Again, it's interesting because it's not a porter or stout, but it has that feel to it. But again, I'm not a big fan of coffee, but yeah, I mean, if you need an excuse to drink before a certain hour,
that's a good brunch.
You know what I'm saying? Huevos revuelto. Con jamón y papita, and then you know what I'm saying, got one of these and you're good.
Good to
go. Typically I ask 1 through 4. All rules are out. We just enjoyed about 11 beers or 5 and 5. We know what your favorites are, which is on the stout side. And I thoroughly enjoyed the sours. That was very good. The amber, that introduced a whole other how do you say flavor to me in the amber. I wasn't expecting that.
Amber.
Yeah, and that was really good too.
Which is the great thing about craft beer is that sometimes what your go-to beer is, you can go to a brewery and it tastes completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great because you know that they're not producing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
Excellent. Real quick, the beer you drink nowadays, your beer of choice nowadays. I know early on you sampled a Bud Light, you know, without your mom realizing. you're a big stout fan. Is there a particular stout that you really go to?
Bourbon barrel aged stouts, imperial stouts. I like my stouts put inside bourbon barrels, left there aging for a few months to years, bottled up, cracked open, nice and cold in my snifter glass.
That way, it gives you a challenge as to pick out all the different notes because it's taking flavor from the wood, the bourbon soaked wood.
Yeah, so it's like I'm enjoying a whiskey, I'm enjoying a bourbon, and I'm enjoying a beer all in one. Yeah, yes, I love it.
And as busy as you are, you gotta combine these things.
Yes, I do.
You got no time.
And it has the coffee notes in it too.
Has the coffee notes.
So I have my all in one. I stay upbeat. I get my calm effect. I'm enjoying my spirit, which is my bourbon or whiskey, and I'm enjoying a beer. What better way to enjoy a beer than that?
What better way? Music. With music. That leads us to the beats portion. That was the brews portion. Brews, Beats, and Eats. Y'all stay tuned. I got Miss B with me still. Brews, Beats, and Eats, the podcast. Did I say cash? That sounded like I said cash. The podcast.
The podcast?
Peace out, bees. Brews, Beats, and Eats, the podcast. See, that's the alcohol talking. This is the podcast where we talk beer, music, and food, along with a knowledgeable guest. And we have mead. Mead.
Mead.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, it is.
Honey wine.
Are you into mead?
No.
Me neither.
But it exists. It exists.
Yeah, mead ciders. That's a whole other.
Yeah. Now, hey, listen. For my listeners who enjoy meads and ciders, stick around. You never know. I might jump into meads. I don't know.
And I might infuse it.
And you might
it's made of honey, and it goes with my whole branding of bees.
Natural buzz.
So
Follow.
Stay tuned for infused mead.
That's what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, we're gonna talk beats. And in this portion is where we get to know my guest's musical taste. What she grew up listening to, what she's listening to nowadays, what her playlist consists of. What does she listen to while she's cramming numbers? Or maybe that even happens, I don't know, but we'll find out. Miss B, growing up, what were you listening to?
Growing up, rap.
Okay.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Okay.
My favorite.
Yes.
Ice Cube.
Big
I was
fan.
all into the ghetto rap.
Okay.
Growing up.
Got you.
But then at the same time, you'd catch me listening to Nirvana and Guns N' Roses and Metallica. So it was so weird. I'm super bipolar with it.
So you didn't kind of corner yourself into one style?
No,
like
never.
I did. You went.
Oh really? Why? Where do you?
Hip hop. That's it.
Hip-hop.
Are
you from New York?
Originally.
Yeah.
Originally.
You have the little accent.
Do I haven't been. You know, it's funny because I spent most of my years in South Florida and I still haven't been able to shake that. I don't know how that
cool.
works.
Keep
but
it. Don't
yeah,
shake
I know.
it.
Yeah.
Keep New York with you.
I'll be down here with. I'll fit in with the retirees eventually when I get that age. Because everybody from New York comes down here to retire.
Yes.
So I'll be able to talk to them, or they'll be able to understand me. But yeah, no, it was heavy hip hop influence for me. Even despite the fact that being from a Dominican descent, like I was never drawn to like merengue. Like it played at parties and functions and whatnot, but it never. I never sat there and go, oh, I have to listen to this album from.
I appreciate it now. What about you? Do you appreciate Spanish music now, or still do you?
It's still the same vibe to me. Like if it plays, it's not something that I go, oh, I can't stand this. It's just background music.
I love me some Romeo Santo.
Really?
Oh my god.
Tu favorito?
So sexy.
Let me find out. That's what he says, right?
Let me find out. I'll let you find out.
Romeo Santos gets busy. He gets busy, but no, definitely not what I grew up listening to. A little bit of everything early on.
Yes, yeah, but mainly like that West Coast. No, it was a good mix of both because I also loved like East Coast hip hop. Wu-Tang.
Oh yes. It's for the children. I mean, come on.
Yes, it is. Ice Cream was like my favorite song from Raekwon.
The only bill for Cuban Links.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that entire album.
Yeah, that's a strong effort. That's a strong album.
Yeah,
definitely.
So growing up, it was like a good mix of both. But then I would throw in I'd get into like my little metal phases and listen to Metallica.
Gotcha.
Chevelle and Guns N' Roses. And things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like super chonga growing up. Like,
were you?
I was.
Were you?
Hoop earrings, everything with my name on it. Like gold jewelry from the ring to the double plated. Like I had gold to the bottom.
Really?
You would never expect
No way!
This little nerd with the little glasses here, accountant, was the two little Afro puffs with the gold teeth and the big hoops.
Way. Yeah. That's
reciting all the Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I used to catch everyone's attention because I knew all the lyrics to it, which really all they're doing is mumbling. Half of the things ain't even words.
The original mumble rap.
Yeah.
We're digging here.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you listening to nowadays?
I'm still a little bipolar, so I go with my moods. It just depends on my mood. Like on the way here, I was listening to Future and Doja Cat, but then I'll listen to Marvin Gaye or Frank Sinatra. I'll move back to my heavy metal I have like different playlists.
Gotcha.
Depending on my moods. If I'm in a bad mood, like I'm really angry, I want to listen to rock.
Okay.
When I'm like feeling like my little chonga side, like I don't need him type of vibe, I'll listen to my like girl booty music.
Okay.
Like I could break it down and twerk still, but now I can't drop it like it's hot anymore. I can just drop it like it's lukewarm. So again, yeah, it's just all over the place. Yeah. But like if you ask me who I would go see on a concert, I love Beyonce. I've been to every single one of her concerts.
Really?
And Jay-Z, yeah.
Wow.
It's them. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power couple.
They are. I actually did Jay-Z's accounting.
Get out of here,
I
for
swear
real?
to God, yeah.
BrewsBeats&Eats doing big things. We got Jay-Z's accountant.
No, for just a little, I assisted.
Hey, we got Jay-Z's accountant.
All right, Jay-Z, I handled them books.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah,
you can't rap about that money unless somebody's taking care of the money.
Thank you. Yeah, but for a period of time,
that's so dope.
His CPA had reached out to me that he needed some, because I'm friends with his CPA.
Okay.
And he needed some help in the office, and I came in and
that's so dope.
I handled his account and Kevin Durant.
Really?
Yeah, actually, Kevin, one of your Comcast bills is under my name. I need you to get it together.
Stop your podcast for a second, because I know you do a podcast, Kevin Durant. Just stop for a second and make sure that Comcast bill is paid. Come on,
yeah, because when you have I guess a mansion, you need several servers or whatnot, and Comcast wouldn't take. They need to have several email addresses. So his accountant was like, "Okay, what's your email address? What's your email address? We need to."
Anybody in the closest vicinity was like,
yeah, pretty much to open these accounts.
Kevin Durant be having burner accounts on Twitter. You can create multiple email accounts.
Really?
He's coming after me now. I just messed it up, but that's all right because he talked trash about the Knicks and he went to the Nets. Wish you the best of luck, Kevin Durant. Sure.
But yeah, definitely Beyonce. I love her live performance. Yes. That is who I go out of my way every time she's coming to town to.
You gotta catch it.
Yeah.
You gotta catch it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Black is King or Lemonade?
Oh man, that's a good one. Cause I jam to Black is King now.
Okay.
But I was recently heartbroken, so Lemonade is my album.
Lemonade?
Yeah.
Lemonade. Okay. That's the one that helps you through that.
Yes. Yeah. It helps me recover from the heartbreak. Damn you.
Yeah. See, and that's what Beyonce does so well is that she provides music, a soundtrack for going through those things.
Yeah,
especially from the female's perspective.
Yeah, like always.
Hot sauce in the back in the car, in the back to the car, and all that stuff. Crazy. That's something else. Not bad at all.
Yeah, so I can go super ghetto to super. Oh, another thing, I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that I
went to the museum in Nashville.
What?
When I went to Nashville for the Craft Brewers Conference. I go every year.
Gotcha.
And one of the years it was in Nashville, and I had to go to the museum. I love me some Johnny Cash.
Wow.
So you see it, I'm all over the place.
You are.
Just
You
depends on the
definitely are.
moods.
Yeah. It's funny because Johnny Cash, like a lot of people hold him in that same regard or revere him that way. And it's, I don't, I think what I think it is when it comes to like Johnny Cash or like Bob Dylan or any of those artists, I find myself in a place, to me it's hip hop. To me it's like, it's hip hop
like who?
above all else. So, I've always adhered myself. I'm making up words. I've always stayed to the underground acts.
Okay.
So if you were on the radio, I probably didn't listen to you because it was just too much. It was an oversaturation. So I would always steer away from that. Early on, I mean,
early on, I loved like some Camp Lo. Do you remember?
Yes,
Camp Lo? I love them.
Banging, and a style of their own. The Lucchini was dope.
That was my jam, but then it hit mainstream. That one did
that one did, yeah. But the rest of the album, there was so many different cuts on there. Like "Sparklin" is a dope song on there. What's the other one? There's a couple different. Oh man, there was one that I would listen to that it was. I think it was featuring one of the MCs was Karachi Raw, and I can't remember the name of the song, but that was it, like the deep cuts. I'm more of a deep cut kind of guy. Like I'll find an album, and the songs that everybody gravitates to, I'm like, oh, those are okay, but I'll find that one. To that,
I'll
find that one that I'm like, oh, this is the one that speaks to me.
Yeah.
Camp Lo definitely mid to late '90s they were, but before that, I mean, grew up listening to Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One. KRS-One, like the staples, and then as time went on, I just stayed in that underground lane where I was. If it wasn't like Raucous or Def Jux, these are like labels, the indie labels. MF Doom, R.I.P. MF Doom. I was listening to him for a while, but that's the guys that I gravitated to. And it kind of like now in the last 10 years, I've kind of opened up a little more. I started realizing that it's a lot of East Coast. I enjoyed some of the Death Row stuff, but it wasn't something that I went to. Like I wouldn't like pop in a CD by Death Row.
Like pre-Suge Knight.
Okay, exactly. So that's like kind of like
once he hit the picture. No.
Yeah.
I don't like any other music.
And then I find myself in a place where now I have a greater appreciation for the West Coast stuff, but it's because it kind of
resembles a lot to East Coast.
The East Coast
more now. Yeah,
yes,
it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Now that the mainstream has focused their attention on the South, and then by virtue, everybody starts sounding South, even though they're not from the South.
I love some dirty South rap music, some Goody Mob, some Outkast.
Oh yeah, no, I mean again the staples like the core group, the people who helped the foundation, even like the the Two Live Crew stuff earlier on. But yeah, that's kind of why I find myself liking more of the West Coast sound now, because they've adapted more of the East Coast flavor, and everybody else is just trying to imitate the South in a sense that they don't do it successfully.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my musical taste.
And when it comes to music, now I'm interviewing you. When it comes to music, are you more into the beat of the music?
Lyrics.
Me too.
Lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm
one of those that I listen to what they are saying. Yeah. And that's where the music speaks to me.
Yes.
Where most people are like bopping to the beat. Oh, this has a good beat, but you don't even know what they're saying at the song.
To me, it's too easy.
I'm like, do you know what the song is even saying?
Yes. It's too easy to bop to the beat. Like everybody, it's it's the Snake Charmer thing, where everybody could fall in love with a melody.
Yeah.
For you to actually feel what they're saying, that's different.
Yeah.
Or that takes a level of attention. Like you have to pay attention to what it is that's being spoken for you to get it. So no, definitely lyrics first for me all the time.
Me too.
Definitely.
Have you ever tried listening to lyrics to a Jamaican song?
No, I don't bother. It's too much whining going on. Not whining, winding.
Like winding, like all the winding. No. But you'd be surprised what the hell they're saying in them damn songs.
Oh, yes.
And that's get it from somebody who learned patois from being married for many years to a Jamaican man.
Okay.
I was like, okay, all this stuff that I was listening to in middle school
that you thought
reggae,
was
the things that they're saying. I was like, oh my god.
they sneak it under the veil of
Yeah.
you're not understanding exactly what the terminology is.
Exactly. No, and that's why even anytime they're like, oh, because I'm not really into like Cardi B's music or any of these new.
Shouts to Cardi B, come on the show.
She's great. I love her. Yeah, but but I hate how they complain about. Oh, her music's too raunchy, or the things that she says, honey, go listen to a reggae song that you were listening to in 1995 and what the hell he was saying.
Yes.
That's some raunchy ass shit right there.
Yeah, exactly. You might not have known it, but you definitely sung along to it.
Yeah.
No. That's where I find myself. How did I end up answering questions? Oh, that's right. You're hosting now.
I'm hosting.
You're hosting now.
This is Bees, Brews, Beats, and Eats.
And I am your guest, Head Ed.
Upgrade the sticker. Miss B.
Miss B. There's one more thing we gotta get into. And that's the eats. So we're gonna wrap up the beats segment, and we gotta get into these eats. We're gonna talk about pairing. Definitely, we can't go without talking about food pairings, whether it's with beers or beers with edibles. And we'll get to know what Miss B's got going on in the kitchen, and the dish she can't live without. So y'all stay tuned. It's BrewsBeats&Eats, the podcast. BrewsBeats&Eats, the podcast, and we have reached the eats portion. This is the portion of the podcast where we get to know our guests' food tastes. What's the dish they can't live without? What's the favorite dish to cook? What they stay away from, because that's been a theme sometimes at points in the podcast, as people have started to say, oh, I don't like this at all, or I can't eat that. So we can get into that as well. Since we have someone who prepares edibles, we'll definitely have to talk about the edibles and then what you could pair them with. And along with food pairings. We got beer. There's a bunch of beer here.
Beer goes great with so many different types of food, depending on, you can bring my edible.
There you go. So let's start with the natural buzz.
Yeah. So my labeling, I upgraded my labeling. I'm very proud.
You did, because last time when we got together, you said that was in the works.
Yeah. So little by little as I go along, trying to be like super official. Suck it, California. Right? With your dispensaries and your good-looking bags. This bees is getting there. No, I love you guys. I love to cook. I love to bake. I'm a foodie. I actually had a blog back when I was trying to steer away from accounting called the Food and Beer Socialite. You can follow the Food and Beer Socialite. It also has an Instagram.
There you go.
My favorite food, pasta. I love all things pasta. And when I mean pasta, don't hit me with the boil some pasta and stick some ragu sauce. No, no shame to ragu or prego or them bottled up things, but I like my sauces from scratch.
So you're putting the celery, the carrots,
everything.
Tomatoes.
I'm like heavy whipping cream, the butter, lots of butter. Salt, black pepper, everything, like whisking it away. I make my own homemade sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love my pastas, believe it or not, even with protein, it's mushrooms.
Okay.
Mushroom, spinach, and pasta. Damn. Mushroom ravioli. So good. See?
We got a fan. You're not the only one out there.
Yeah. So I'm a big pasta fan. Okay. And if I tell you what's my the food that I steer clear from, that I'm like, ew, gross, I'm going to take, my Latin card is going to be taken away.
So we don't have to reveal that if you want to hold on to that.
I hate beans.
Really?
Frijoles. But like, if you're gonna make me frijoles, it has to be blended into like una sopa de frijol.
Got you.
Or like real creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Do not serve me watery. Like arroz frijole, gross. Give me moro.
You don't want the whole.
That liquidy on top of the thing, I'll toss it away. I'll give it to my daughter. I don't know. And that's what I stress on my kids. Te tienes que comer los frijoles. Come tu frijoles. But then, like, my mom will be like, girl,
you know.
Mira, eso no frijoles. Ay, no me eso. And chícharos. Which is split peas. Split peas. I hate split peas.
That's amazing, because there's like countless amounts of people out there who are like, I don't want the beans. Just give me la salsa. just to wet the rice.
I don't
a
want the
little bit.
sauce. That's
You
the
don't
sauce. I don't
want-
like
yeah,
the sauce.
yeah,
Give me
yeah.
the beans.
Give me the
And then
beans.
stick it in a blender and put some crema in it or some cheese. That's what I
Really?
want. Yeah, I hate the sauce.
Wow.
I really just, I don't know why, it grosses me
Something
out.
about the sauce.
I don't like it.
Moro.
The dry one. So I like
frijole
it
negro or frijole...
both.
Oh, the both.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
And whatever, like, you can do it, whether it's the Jamaicans, rice and peas, which is the red kidney beans and the rice, or Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban,
Anything.
moro, con gris, call it whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, with the black beans or the red beans, give it to me dry.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
why
first.
it's like, yeah, because usually a big Hispanic thing is to eat beans.
Yes.
I hate
Sauce included, but
Yeah.
you're not.
Don't
not
give me
for it.
garbanzos, give me hummus. Okay? Give me
I can't argue with you there. Yeah, I would take hummus over garbanzos all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little olive oil, lime.
So good. I make awesome hummus.
Really?
Yeah. And I infuse it too, because I infuse all foods. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
So so the infuse comes through the form of an oil.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my base ingredient, I have infused coconut oil, which works great for my vegans too. I have infused butter.
Okay.
And what else do I infuse? Coconut oil, infused butter, any infused vegetable oil, sunflower oil, depending on the recipe.
Okay.
And then I have what is a tincture, which is an alcohol-based infused liquid. I basically take 151. I don't know.
Yeah. The one that has the cap.
The killer. The killer liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I soak it in all the cannabis, and it extracts all the THC. I cook it for 4 hours so that the alcohol bases come out of it, and it's all pure THC, and then that's usually what I use to infuse all my drinks.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's right, because you did show up with a couple bottles. One of them was mezcal, and the other one, I'm trying to remember.
So I did a mezcal cocktail that was infused, but that was the THC and the actual mezcal. Like I put mezcal in there.
Gotcha.
I did really well making infused coquito this past holiday season.
Really?
What?
Okay.
I was the coquito queen over here. New York, what? Puerto Ricans were mad.
They were writing strongly worded emails.
Yeah.
They're like, you need to stop this.
Listen, you Cuban. This is not your staple drink. This is ours.
You're making us look bad.
Shout out to the Puerto Ricans and
Yes.
it's like coquito,
All my people.
yeah,
Yeah,
who
coquito.
provided the coquito recipe. I love y'all.
Yeah. You just added a different twist to it. You upgraded it.
Yeah, so my coquito had no alcohol and it was purely THC and then the rest of the ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's no alcohol. You wouldn't pair a coquito with one of those cookies.
Some people did.
Really?
They would buy the coquito and along with the edibles, I was like, oh, the coquito was killer. Like I literally had a little tiny taste test of it. So the thing with edibles, you want an edible to hit you hard, go take a bite of something fatty. A burger per se. That day I was barbecuing and like bottling up coquitos. I took a 2-ounce little taste, like, okay, this tasting right. I went a couple minutes past, I'm doing everything, I'm finally sitting down, I'm having my burger, I take a few bites, I'm like, oh my God, why am I feeling like this? I'm like, oh no. I grabbed the baby, I was like, I'm gonna go lay down. My 7-year-old starts talking to me and I'm like, why is this girl tired? And I'm laughing at everything she says.
And then she keeps going because
she
you're like,
keeps going. I'm like, why is time passing so slow? So yeah.
So it's the fattiness of the burger.
Fatty foods trigger edibles to work faster because
Got you.
THC attaches to fat.
Wow.
So all of your cannabinoids in there and all the fatty stuff, it just starts to absorb together, and it's like, okay, hi guys. Let's start the party.
It hops a ride on the fat.
Yeah.
And as it's traveling, it just gets there quicker.
So if you ever buy an infused lemonade from me or any infused drink from me, pair it up with a burger and honey, you'll be lit.
What?
To the gods.
What? It just can't be. Now, disclaimer: it can't be like a plant-based burger because there's not a lot of fat.
No,
involved.
it has to be something fatty.
Yes.
So you can think burger, a fatty steak.
Okay.
Anything saucy that contains a little butter
in
it, yeah.
Wow.
That'll really trigger the effect.
And then it'll cut back on the wait time because I know that's one of the major complaints.
Yeah, everybody
here
complains,
is
but I don't feel anything, and they're like, okay, now I'm on a couch coma. Well, I told you to wait.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Like a big hit also during the holidays that I made was infused macaroni and cheese. I make homemade from scratch mac and cheese.
Do you put onions in your mac and cheese?
No, I do not.
Okay,
It's just like I do like a 5 cheese, 6 cheese, 8 cheese type mac and cheese.
Wow.
Creamy secret ingredient. I'm not gonna tell you.
Don't tell me. Wait, the fact that there's 8 cheeses, I'm like, is there more than 8 cheeses?
Have you never experienced a charcuterie board? How many cheeses exist in the world?
Well, there's Which,
by the way, I make infused charcuterie boards too.
Yeah.
What don't I infuse?
She's got all the angles covered.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get creative because I'll make a dish. I love to cook. I'm at home. I'm making a dish, and then it's like, oh my god, I really love this. I'm like, you know what? I can infuse this. So then I infuse it. I'll take whether it be the coconut oil, I'll take the vegetable oil, the sunflower oil, the saffron oil, a butter if it contains butter. I'll just switch out that ingredient. Also now for 420 coming up, I'm collaborating with a lot of like companies.
Okay.
I have this company that they make flan. They want to do a THC infused and a CBD infused flan.
Wow.
A lot of food trucks that want to do like their dishes. I'll just provide like the main ingredient for them.
Nice. You mentioned vegan, because we're trying to.
Yeah, because I have to cater to my vegans.
We're gonna try to include everybody in this.
Everybody. Yes.
What's a vegan dish that you would prepare?
Cookies. You want my
cookies?
My cookies are vegan.
Oh, the cookies are vegan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just simplified it and I made all my cookies vegan just for the simple fact that they taste great. Mm-hmm. If you're not vegan, you'll like it, and if you're vegan, it's conscious that it is vegan and you can consume it.
You can consume it. It'll open for those who aren't. They might open up their palate to eating more vegan stuff.
Yes, I guess maybe.
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
When you're high enough, you'll eat anything.
I don't care.
Besides cookies, what else do you like to bake?
Brownies. Yeah, I like to bake so I make chocolate chip cookie for the line. Natural Buzz has chocolate chip cookies, snickerdoodle, and white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
So that would get me in trouble. I'm like, I was gonna lead to it. It's like, how do you keep the adult snacks away from the kid snacks? Because I would have to stay on the kid snack side. Yeah, of course.
In my house, there's a Natural Buzz cabinet.
Gotcha.
From all of my kids down to my 7-year-old is always like, Mommy, are those the bad cookies? She knows not to touch the bad cookies. Mm-hmm. The bad brownies. What's bad? Or, it smells like that's the bad stuff.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Exactly.
Chicka. There it is.
Exactly.
So there is a location where they're like, we stay away from that.
Yeah.
I'd be hanging out with the kids, be like, let's get the regular ones.
So I do every single time I bake them their regular stuff too. So everything, and again, everything that I do make THC infused, I also make it CBD infused. Because I also have a lot of customers that have just come out of surgery or like it for their post-workout or just need pain relief, anxiety relief, depression relief. All my mommies helps with breastfeeding for postpartum depression.
Okay.
I'm actually coming out with an entire maternity line and kids line. Yeah. I make my daughter CBD infused eczema oil and balms.
Oh, that is so
the best. Because I was sick and tired. One thing about me, if you have eczema, what they always prescribe to you has a bunch of hormones. It's not good for you, and especially for a little girl. And I was like, no, screw this. And she would get really bad flare-ups. I read that CBD is extremely good for the skin, for eczema, and I made her own balms, and never again has she had to go to the doctor for it.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's so dope. Man, Miss B's out here not just baking, but changing lives. Making things happen.
So I do. I put a lot of, it's like I always say, my little motto is I put a lot of love and a lot of bud into all of my products.
Goes hand in hand.
I enjoy doing it. That's why my customers like it and they come back.
Yeah.
But I enjoy cooking. And I've also made my favorite pasta. I've infused my pasta for myself with CBD because I don't.
Yeah.
I'll be knocked out till next Wednesday if I
and
do
won't get nothing done.
Yeah, I won't
Everybody
get nothing
waiting.
done. Your girl, it's tax season. I got to get my stuff done.
Make it happen, for sure. Well, we covered desserts, and I guess besides a CBD cookie or a brownie, is there a dessert that you enjoy?
What's my favorite dessert? Hold on. What is? Carrot cake. Carrot cake.
That.
Yeah, carrot cake is my favorite.
I think we're in the same boat.
And believe it or not, who makes the best carrot cake? Publix. Oh my god.
Publix is good.
Publix carrot cake is so good.
Yeah.
I gotta stay away from it because I will eat that entire bark.
the log.
The little log.
The log.
Yeah.
You get dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, I tell myself that it's vegetables, so
right?
that's like
Too bad that you know what a carrot cake is. It's like they shave a little bit of carrots and everything else is just sugar.
The typical cake.
I love it.
It's more cake than it is carrot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Just like a muffin is a fancy word to call a cupcake. A breakfast cupcake.
Yeah.
It's all the same
zucchini
thing.
muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're not gonna get your daily allowance of vegetables in there. No, it's not happening. That's funny. I was recently asked pie or cake. Somebody had asked me pie or cake, and I was like pie, unless it's carrot cake. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
have you tried? I'm sorry. Have you tried the carrot cake Oreos?
I have.
What did you think?
It was alright. It was alright.
Do you normally eat Oreos?
But it's because my favorite Oreos are the lime ones. I mean, I'm not lime. Lemon cookies. I love lemon.
Okay,
cookies.
lemon cookies are good.
The lemon and they made the lemon Oreos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big Oreo guy.
Me neither.
But when
I tried for I love you, natural, but I love cookies. I don't care for cookies.
Okay.
I'm not a cookie eater.
Got you.
Yeah. So, but if you tell me Oreos, I'll go for the lemon flavored ones.
Yeah, the carrot cake to me is like what opened me up to like I could eat Oreos because it's this particular.
No, because then I just want at Publix. I'm not gonna go for the carrot Oreos. I want to go for the carrot cake.
You're right. You're right. There. The proximity is too close.
Why?
Why? Yes, correct. This is
why
correct.
ruin a good thing?
Carrot cake all the way. Team carrot cake for sure.
And pies if it's pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie.
Every holiday, might think pumpkin.
Yeah. Over sweet potato?
Yeah, I don't care for the sweet potato. I make a mean sweet potato pie.
Yeah. But again, you're providing for the people.
I provide for the people.
Just like the cookies.
Like that. I'll make you a pecan pie. But I personally love a pumpkin pie.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think pumpkin spice. I'm such a basic bitch in that sense. I'm going to admit it. I go to Starbucks and I am one of those that come September, I will order a pumpkin spice.
Do you stockpile up on like pumpkin coffee? Like the...
I do, with my little Keurig and all my little stuff, yeah.
Oh my God, Trader Joe's with their pumpkin everything.
Everything, but I like it. I do. I even like the pumpkin spice beer. I'm here for it. Thank you, Sam Adams.
With a little bit of
I'm there with you.
Cinnamon and sugar on the rim.
Yeah.
I've learned that.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, Elysian actually has a very good pumpkin stout, I think it is.
Really? I've never had that.
Yeah, it's real seasonal. But I came across one of those.
Noted.
There you go. Miss B, man, we got to know you. We tried brews. There's still a lot more here, and I feel like I should drink more. And I might. We got to know your music taste. We got to know your food taste. Natural buzz, cookies, brownies. There's infused drinks.
Oh, gummies too. I make infused on the candy side. Hard candies, chocolate bars. And remember, everything THC, I can also make CBD.
For
the non-euphoric pain relief, anxiety relief, depression relief. But usually for the fun people, I do have all your tasty goodies with cookies, brownies, gummies, cakes, cupcakes.
For us,
Cheetos, hot Cheetos was a big thing. For real, yeah.
Yeah.
Takis. I don't get it. Millennials.
It's baked in right into the Cheetos in there?
It's different. So when you make your chips or anything like that would get soggy, you get tapioca powder and you infuse you get infused coconut oil and tapioca powder. I'm giving you all my secrets.
I know what's happening. I got her to talk.
Mix it with your chips and there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and I make you bags of Ruffles and Takis and hot Cheetos all infused.
Wow.
You learn something.
There it is. Brews, Beats, and Eats, the podcast. As always, I'd like to take the time and thank my guest, Miss B, for taking the time, sitting down and talking it up with me. I'd like to thank you, the viewer, the listener, for joining us for another week.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. This was a pleasure. I've learned so much, and I hope I retain it after I have these beers. If you enjoyed what you heard, tell a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, tell an enemy. Tell somebody. BrewsBeats, the letter N, Eats at Gmail. That's how you can email me. The same with the IG. Keep up with me there. Streaming platforms, all the ones that matter, your favorite ones, I'm there. YouTube is popping. Creating more content as we go. Whether it's the street level series, it's a little tricky with the YouTube. It's BrewsBeats&Eats, the podcast. It'll be in the description box, as well as the Craft Beer Accountant and the Natural Buzz, and all the information we shared, or where to find the information we shared on this episode. Thank you so much again. Shouts to Rob Productions. Yo, Atlantic Barbershop, 64 15th West Atlantic. Yo, much love to you guys. Everybody else who's involved, who's helped out with the podcast up to this point. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all tune in. There's more to come.
And shout out to Unbranded Brewing Company.
Unbranded Brewing.
East Hialeah.
Yes, come out. Barbecue. Fridays.
Yes.
Oxtail.
All weekend. We have barbecue all weekend here.
All weekend barbecue.
Yeah.
But there's like oxtail happening on Fridays. So if you about that oxtail, come through.
Hit up Zach. Tell Zach. Just slang them oxtails.
Yeah.
And the smoker.
Yes. Smoke. I gotta come back. Y'all be safe. Take care. Peace.